Hey guys, welcome back to this series where we are discussing the solutions for CodeBash. And in this video, we are going to discuss the solution for the question named flights. So let's get to it. So this is basically a question. So let's just quickly go through it. So the question says that Rajiv has been deployed as the only air traffic controller in the Nepal's airport. And the airport is very small, and the flight which would take off from Nepal would have a certain departure time and arrival time. So the important thing is that we have certain flights over here, and every flight will have two things, that is its departure time and its arrival time. Next part is the important part that we need to remember is that Rajiv can only assist one flight at a time. So he cannot assist more than one flight, and he has to compulsorily assist the allotted flight till the time it lands. So from the departure time to the arrival time, he has to take care of the flight, assist the flight, and in the middle of this time he cannot assist other flights. And we have to help Rajiv to determine whether he could assist all the flights that have been allotted to him. So basically, this is the question. There will be some flights. Every flight has two things: a departure time and an arrival time. And the important condition here is that only one flight at a time can be assisted. So, and we have to tell if Rajiv can assist all the flights that are allotted to him or not. So let's go to the approach that we will be following for the solution. So here we have our basic example input that was also in the question. So to think about this, you can consider this following visualization. So consider that so here we have basically three planes. So these are three planes, and the arrival times and the departure times are given. So it starts at t equal to 0 and it goes till t equal to 30. So we can consider this as a plot or a visualization, as you can see here. So consider this to be your time axis as we move along, and we start from 0 here. So we can say that the first flight starts from 0 till 30. The second flight starts from t equal to 5 to t equal to 10, and the third flight starts from t equals 15 to t equals 20. So now here you can see that the time here is overlapping. Now we as humans can clearly see this, but we have to code this in a way that our program can also see this, and that is why we get the answer to be false here. Okay, so this is basically the approach. What we do is that we consider this time period, and we check that if in this time period there is another flight starting from in between, then we directly print false, and otherwise we continue to check this till all the flights in the allotted timesheet are covered. So this was our flight 1, this was our flight 2, and this was our flight 3. So you could consider this following visualization to help you understand. So let's move on to the pseudocode for the problem statement. So here first thing is obviously to accept the number of assignments. So these are basically assignments of flights. So how many flights is Rajiv allotted? That was 3 in the previous example case. Then we run a loop from I equal to 0 till the number of flights. So we run this loop from 0 till 2. So basically 3 times. And every time this is to accept the test cases or the arrival and departure times that we have for each flight, accept the space separated numbers and add them to a 2D array. So you get something like this, a two-dimensional array with so this is for flight 1, this is for flight 2, and this is for flight 3. And every flight has an arrival time and a departure time. So now after that, after we have this array over here, I'll just clean it up. So okay, yeah. So after we have this array, we sort the 2D array. So this 2D array we have in ascending order with respect to our start time. This is similar to what we do in a normal array. Just instead of swapping two integers, you are swapping a whole array. So basically you consider only these numbers, and on the basis of these numbers, here they are already in ascending order. But let's say that the order was something like this. You have 0, 30, 15, 20, and then 5 and 10. So let's say you had something like this. Then you first swap it in ascending order on the basis of this arrival time, so that you know exactly from when all the flights are starting. And then the next step would be to run another loop j from 0 till the length of the 2D array. So here we can see that the length is 3 over here. Now in this for loop, what we do is we check if the end time, so I'll just change the color here so you all do not get confused. So what we do is we check if the end time that we have. So suppose we are starting our for loop from 0. So the end time for flight 1, which is 30, we check if this is greater than the start time for the next flight. So we check if 30 is greater than 5. If this condition is true, then we know that the first flight will not be completed in the time to start the next flight. So we know he won't be able to assist the second flight. So in that case, we print false and then we break out of the loop. So this again is an important step, because if you don't do this, let's say your j over here, which is your iterator, gets incremented, and now you're over here at flight 2. Here you can see that the end time is 10 is less than 15, right? Basically this condition is false. So if this condition is false, the later part will be executed, and which will basically mean that he can assist the flight, which would be wrong code. So this break statement is important over here. And suppose that, okay, we break out of this loop, but how do we know when to print true, right? So this is also an important part. So if your iterator j is equal to the length of the 2D array, then you print true. Otherwise your code will assume that it has printed false. So let's see how this works. Suppose your array wasn't something like this. So yeah, so let's say your array was something like this. Instead of 30 you had 2, and then the rest was same: 5, 10, and 15 and 20, right? Let's say you had something like this. So here the condition, this condition will never hold true, because you can see 2 is less than 5, and 10 is also less than 15. So what will happen, our j is first over here. Now this condition isn't satisfied, so it gets incremented without breaking out of the loop. Now again here the condition isn't satisfied, so our j changes to this now. And after that our j is again incremented, but now it comes out of the for loop, since we are running from 0 to 2. So 0, 1, 2. So we run it 3 times. Now j value is 3 and we are out of the loop. So here we can say that our length is also 3, and the false condition makes the j value to be equal to 3. So if this j and the length of the 2D area is same, then we know that j has gone through all of these arrival and departure times, so basically smaller inner arrays, and it has found that there are no overlapping departure times and arrival times. So from that we can print true. So this is basically the pseudocode for the solution, and the code for this will be provided in the description below, so do check that out. And with this we come to the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed the whole process of CodeBash, and If you have any other solutions, other approaches, do share them in the comments below. We'd really appreciate it. And thank you.